Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. We're so excited to be back together in this format. We've been doing a few video podcasts, and as I've said, I'm not committing to do those every time because all of these are a lot of work, but that is a whole crew it takes to make that come together. But we are so excited to have another announcement today. And listen, as you guys have seen over the last several weeks and months, and I guess I should say years, we've been adding so many amazing partners to the Integrity family. We've been adding these family businesses that have just great stories. And I'm going to just say that this is one of those incredible stories that we're adding today to just this tapestry of amazing stories that we've been weaving together here at Integrity. And I'm so excited to announce that Hovis and Associates has now joined the Integrity family. As part of this partnership, David Hovis, President and CEO of Hovis Associates, and Kevin Hovis, Vice President of Medicare Sales, will become managing partners here at Integrity. And over the last 3 decades and 2 generations, the Hovis and Associates agency has built a reputation for quality of service in the Medicare consulting and financial services and wealth management industries. Today, Hovis and Associates has grown to include a strong team who have supported hundreds and hundreds of incredible agents around the Midwest region of the U.S., and they have 2 offices in the St. Louis area. And now, as part of the Integrity family, Hovis and Associates will have even more resources to help them grow as they tap into some of our amazing shared services and industry-leading technology here at Integrity. And we are so excited to have you learn a little bit more about their story today, and super excited to welcome David, Kevin, and the entire Hovis team to the Integrity family. David and Kevin, congratulations, guys. We're so excited about the partnership.
Thanks, Brian. We're excited to be here and excited to be part of the Integrity family.
Yes, thank you, Brian. This is a great day for Hovis and Associates. Everyone on our team has worked hard for years to reach this point.
Well, guys, listen, this has been one of these opportunities. I remember whenever we first started Integrity, your name came up as one of the more respected names, especially in the Midwest in the Medicare industry. And it's taken time for us to be able to pull this together, but all good things come to those who wait. And I just am so excited about partnering with you. And I'd like to start with the fact that you guys are very much a family business. Not only are the 2 of you brothers, but it was your father who started Hovis and Associates. Tell us a little bit about the history of your great company.
Yeah, that's right. Our father, Dennis Hovis, started our business back in 1984 in DeSoto, Missouri, which is where we're all from. It's a small town around 6,000 people, located about 50 miles south of St. Louis. Again, our whole family is from there. But my father's family also ran a women's clothing store there for decades, actually started back in 1940. And he grew up working in that clothing business. But after he finished college, he worked there for another 14 years before he got into the insurance business. In the beginning, I said he did a lot of the heavy lifting because he basically started out selling life insurance at kitchen tables at night. But then he branched out into employee benefits for businesses. And from there, that led to us expanding into the Medicare business.
This is so interesting, David. So your dad was in the women's clothing business. You know, I grew up in a really small town in West Texas, and I remember these small clothing businesses that would be in these small towns. It's kind of a shame today. You don't see those type of companies anymore, and you know, people now shop online and on Amazon and everything else. But that was just kind of part of the fabric of society back then. So, what was it that took your dad from working in the clothing business, and as you said, 14 years? I mean, that's a whole career. And so by that time, he was getting a little older and then he decided to sell insurance. What was it that made that transition for him?
Well, I think the story he always tells is that as we were getting older, he wanted to move from not so much night business to more day work. And so we've always been involved in our local communities, and he always was as well. He was actually the mayor of our small town twice. So that tells you, he always says that never put him in a new tax bracket, though. So he definitely didn't do it for the money. But, I think giving back to our local communities that support us was always a big deal. But so we knew a lot of, small business owners in the community. So kind of getting away from the life insurance and moving into employee benefits to help out these other business owners seemed to be a pretty good fit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, did you both think, man, I'm going to get into the insurance business as soon as I get a chance?
Neither one of us, actually. So I had received my bachelor's degree in marketing and management from the University of Missouri in Columbia. Go Tigers. Then I got my MBA there as well and went out into the workforce. So after I graduated with my MBA, I went and worked for a large company right out of college for about a year. I realized pretty quickly I didn't want to work for a very large company, so I decided to come back to St. Louis and look for some other opportunities. But basically, my dad made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So at that point, our business had grown to where he needed more help. So he said, well, why don't you just come here and work for a little bit with us and see what we do, and then you can still interview elsewhere. Because I don't know about your kids, but I think when we were growing up, it's hard to really know what your parents do for a living and how they spend their days. But, so I was able to get in there and kind of see how the business ran and how they were able to help people. So anyway, after that, we had a negotiation. And so he and my mom had made a list of the pros and cons about working together. So number one on each column was working with family. So I always say it's either the best or the worst thing. It just depends on the day. So we've had a lot more good days than bad ones, though, that's for sure. But I think the thing that sealed the deal for me was when he said that my income potential would be unlimited. So, I like the idea of being able to control my destiny where, the harder I worked, the better I could do. So as you can tell, our father was a pretty good salesman too. So anyway, I also like being able to help people and make a living while doing it. So here I am today, 2 decades later, still working in the business.
That is so awesome. You say, people, sometimes your kids don't know what your parents do. So I grew up in a funeral home in a really small town. My parents literally, we lived right next door to the funeral home for part of the time, and then right down the street after that. But I always knew what my mom and dad did, and I always knew I did not want to do that. But it's funny. It's funny. I got 2 boys now that I'm not sure they could articulate what I do. I'm not even sure my wife can articulate exactly what we all do today. So, Kevin, what about you, man? How did you get into the business?
Well, I was working in the restaurant industry, but the older you get, kind of the more the hours weigh on you in that industry. So I wanted to get more daytime hours than nighttime hours. So after I got married in 2004, I moved back to St. Louis. One of my goals was to live closer to family. So I did the same thing that Dave did. I sat down with mom and dad, and we talked about the pros and cons of working with family. Same results when we looked at the pros and cons. So in the beginning, I thought financial services would be my main interest in the business. But then when Medicare Part D came out in 2006, I really started gravitating toward the Medicare segment of our business.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you guys are in Missouri, and you said something about Go Tigers, Missouri Tigers. So I got to tell you, one of my favorite places to eat in the world. If somebody asked me, rank your number one pizza place in the world, it would be Shakespeare's in Columbia. Have you ever eaten?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Like that is solid. In fact, when I was there not too long ago, I ordered a pizza to go just because I was with some people. I was like, dude, you got to try this pizza because it is amazing. If anybody's ever in Columbia, Missouri, I know our friends at Senior Marketing Specialists in McNerney are laughing right now. Seriously, man, do yourself a favor. If you're ever there, go get some Shakespeare's pizza because it is legit. So I'm gonna stay on something. I'm gonna go off of the topics here, but also I'm a Big 12 guy. So I went to Texas Tech. I love Big 12. I used to love Big 12, and then you all got really smart and picked up. And you had Nebraska leave, you guys leave, you had A&M leave. Now you got Texas, OU leave. I'm not sure what's left of the Big 12. How have you guys enjoyed the SEC so far?
Oh, I think it's been fun. When my wife and I started dating and we're about to get married, she went to Texas A&M. So I thought, well, every time we'd play them, we'd get beat. And whatever sport we were watching, it seemed like we'd always lose. So we were going to go to the SEC. I thought, I don't know if this will be better or worse, but maybe we'll get away from Texas A&M so I can stop taking a beating all the time. But then they went too, so then that continued. If you ask her, they're better at everything. If you have somebody from Texas, right? So.
Well, listen, I know I'm going to get some pushback on this, but this whole deal with them buying their players is a whole other thing. So I think there may be a reason for that. But yeah, I know that there's some people that certainly would disagree, but I love Nick Saban coming out on that whole point. What a mess that whole thing's been. But look, guys.
Well, I will say that the tailgates are a lot better in the SEC than they are in the old Big 12 or Big 8. I remember the Big 8.
The Big 8, yeah, wasn't there the Big 6 and then it went to the Big 8?
Yeah, there was before the Big 8.
Big 12. Yeah, I have to admit, I really do miss some of the, KU and Missouri playing, and some of those old kind of deep rivalries you kind of miss. I don't know what's going to happen in the sports world here, but I'm kind of a traditionalist, I guess, in a lot of ways. But it is what it is. It's not going to change now with the NIL and all the money that's involved now. My goodness, this is certainly crazy. And look, I'm a fan of players getting paid something for their image and likeness. I mean, they should get paid something, I think. But some of it's gotten out of hand, man. So we'll see where it all ends up. But we miss you guys. I guess this is my appeal, that we miss you guys in the Big 12. I think if y'all would have stayed in the Big 12, y'all probably would have won a championship or two, but it is what it is. I think A&M definitely would have. That's a crazy thing. If A&M would have stayed, I think they would have they would have won a championship or two for sure by now, but it is what it is. Well, hey, so you guys said y'all both started in the early 2000s, and I wanted to touch base on some of the changes. Talking about change, in life and sports, we've all gone through change, and your agency has gone through a lot of change in the decades since your dad started it. How have you guys seen your business transition to how it's so successful today?
Well, I think the thing that, we've changed over the years that is always a process. It's easy to say, but hard to do is, to focus on the things you do well. I think back when my dad started the agency, if somebody walked in the door, then he was going to sell them something. He had to be a jack of all trades. At that stage in the business, he was doing whatever he needed to do to put food on the table. So, I know his first year in the business, he only made about $11,000. So we always say he did the heavy lifting. He did all the hard work to build the foundation really for everything that followed afterward. But to say we've come a long way, I think is a bit of an understatement. I know when I started in the business back in 2000, to give you an example, we had dial-up internet in the office.
Yeah.
And so not only one person could be online at a time. And if somebody else wanted to get online, you had to holler at somebody else to jump off. So, it was a different time for sure. But, today we focus mostly on Medicare business and retirement planning. We like to say on a client's health and wealth. So like Kevin said, we knew Medicare would be a good market for us, but at the time we didn't really know what we were getting into. I know in 2005, we went from 0 outside agents to over 100 agents in less than 60 days. So that first year was like trying to drink out of a fire hose. So we saw there was a lot of upside, and we've been growing ever since.
Man, there's that type of meteoric growth is what a lot of our partners have experienced, and there's a lot of rewards for that kind of change and that kind of a tremendous growth. But that transition can still be a challenge. Kevin, what was it like going kind of through that rapid growth and the challenges and transition that took?
Well, I mean, it was kind of like trial by fire there at the beginning. We didn't really have a choice. But by focusing on the things that we do better than others, we've been able to maximize our growth while taking care of our clients in the best way possible. That's how we've reached this point where we can partner with integrity. Even with all the growth and success we've achieved, we've kind of been hitting a ceiling in terms of our resources, especially with the technology. So the future of this business is online, and we know that, and we want to provide our agents with a higher level of technology. But we didn't quite have the resources to build a whole platform ourselves. Thanks to Integrity, though, we'll now have access to electronic enrollment apps as well as an overall enrollment platform across all carriers. That's going to make life a lot easier for us and our downline agents. And Integrity offers us a lot more than just technology. We get the opportunity to continue running our business, which is huge for us, giving us the best of both worlds.
Man, I totally agree. When you have this evolution that's happening, and it's really this innovation that's occurring at such a rapid pace that you got to stay ahead of, but it's difficult for all of us if you haven't really been there before and done that. That's one of the reasons we brought on Silver Lake to help us with our investments in technology and looking for ways to really accelerate a lot of those investments and ways to serve even more people. Because I truly believe that there's just this passion that we all have about serving others. What are you guys so passionate about and kind of the ways that we get to serve people in this market?
Well, I think we have, the skill set and the knowledge to be able to help a lot of people and make a real difference. I mean, one of the things that we always say is we make Medicare simple because most people are lost, when they have to, pick a Medicare plan for the first time, for example. So, and we live, in some of our markets, we have some low income folks that we help. And if you've got a client who is living just on Social Security and you can switch them to a plan that's better for them, more appropriate, and save them $1,000 a year in prescription drug costs, I mean, for them, that's life-changing. So I just love seeing the impact we can make by doing what's in the client's best interest. And that's really where it all, comes down to, is what we try to focus on is let's do what's in the client's best interest, and everything else will, work itself out. So I think it's an incredible industry to be in.
Yeah, for example, we recently had a client who was in our office just about every day. She's disabled and isn't working, and her husband unexpectedly passed away at the age of 60. So he was still working to support the family. He took care of everything. So to say she was lost is a bit of an understatement. Fortunately, we'd written a life insurance policy on her and her husband about 12 years ago. And now getting that death benefit is going to allow her to survive and to continue. Without that, she could have been in real trouble. But in the end, we were able to help her navigate a very, very overwhelming situation.
So, yeah, I know just the other day she was in here for 2.5 hours, and we went so far as to, get on the phone with her, call Social Security. She didn't even know where to start or what, questions to ask. So obviously that's a very overwhelming time and one that was an unexpected situation for her to be in. So I think what we were most concerned about was just making sure she, one, didn't get taken advantage of, and two, she was with somebody that was going to really wrap her arms around her and make sure she's taken care of. So we were able to use our knowledge to help clients like her, and those are the days that are really fulfilling for us.
Man, look, that's what it's all about. It's interesting, just the passion that people have around serving others. And when you see it in action, when you have a client that actually has to use our products and services in a way like that, especially in an unexpected time, I mean, it really kind of pulls it all together, and it shows you how important of a job that we all have about giving back. And I know you guys do a lot about giving back to your community. And it's not only just about giving back in the ways we serve people, but also about giving back to your community. And you even mentioned that your dad was a 2-term mayor of the community you guys grew up in. How are you guys giving back? And I'd love to share a little bit more about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, it's always been important to us to support the communities that have supported us because, without that support, we wouldn't be where we are today. So, I think, for example, we were always really involved with our local chambers of commerce. I know, for example, when I was the president, we were giving out scholarships to graduating high school seniors. And, things kind of go along and they've just kind of always been doing things a certain way. And they would give out $250. It may have creeped up to maybe $500 scholarships at the time, just because that's the way they've always done it. And so I said, look, this is not even going to cover the price of 2 books these days at college. So I said, listen, I'm going to challenge everybody. Let's increase this to, $1,000 scholarship. And everybody said, oh, no, times are tough. Nobody's going to do that, And I said, well, sometimes you just have to ask people. And you'd be surprised at how generous they are. But, they thought nobody would give that much. But last year, I'm proud to say, through the Chamber of Commerce, we sponsored 10 scholarships at $1,000 apiece. So that's just a small example of the things that I think how we can make an impact.
Another program we help out with is our local DeSoto Farmers Market. They actually have an entrepreneurial corner where the kids can sell products they make once a month. So it's been a great opportunity for kids to develop business skills and confidence.
Man, all of that is inspiring to me. And that's part of what we're doing this Inspire podcast about is how do we come together and inspire others to look for ways to do more. I think all of us can do more. And if you think about just the impact you guys are having in your local communities, not only through the community service you do, but the business that we are so blessed to be in. It is incredible how aligned we all are. And now it's coming together. I think we're going to be able to serve even more people together. And I'm just honored to be your partner, guys. We're excited to announce this publicly tomorrow. And you guys, I got to say this before we wrap up. We had an amazing video shoot together, and it was interesting. I was seeing some of the videos and some of the pictures after the shoot. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there was a tornado right after the shoot, and our videographers caught a picture of this massive tornado right after that. Did you guys see that?
No,
I don't think we did.
Well, it did. It got pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know there was a tornado right there.
Well, I got timing's everything, right?
We got to see this picture. It was like crazy. And so we had like Ann Wood, our chief marketing officer, who lives in Utah. I don't think they have a lot of tornadoes in Utah. And she's like telling them, like, y'all need to try to outrun it, go faster. And I grew up in West Texas. It's like, hold on, that's not what you're supposed to do here. What is y'all's go-to whenever you have a tornado? What do you guys do? Do y'all go in a basement, closet? What do you guys do?
Yeah, in my house, we go to the basement.
Yeah, basement's usually the move.
You don't have any of those there in Texas, do you?
It's funny. I grew up, we had a basement, and we'd always go to the basement. Now, we don't really have this. We go in our laundry room. But it's funny. We're in a big building in downtown Dallas. We had some tornadoes come through not too long ago, and I'm in our chief financial officer's office. He's from London. He's like, what are we supposed to do? I'm like, I guess you sit here and watch it because I'm not walking down all the stairs right now. So we were just watching weather come through. But it was one of those things when I saw that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it was that close. We'll have to send you that picture because if anybody gets close to the tornado, you got to take cover. That's for sure. And our teams got out and took a beautiful shot of it. I'm not going to lie, but I wanted to make sure I told you about that because it was quite the experience for everybody involved, for sure. Well, guys, again, we're going to be announcing this tomorrow. We're super excited. And really, I think that just like your dad, when he started with this idea of being able to serve more people and what you guys have this heart of service, together we're going to be able to serve a whole lot more people. And so I'm proud to be your partner. Congratulations, guys, and excited to announce this for sure. Excited to be your partner. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
We're excited.
Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, before we conclude today, I want to recognize our Inspire 100 winner. And this is something I just love that we get to do. We get to recognize people who are going above and beyond. And today is Marianne Pauley at Resource Brokerage, who was nominated by Maggie Boudel, also at Resource Brokerage. And here's what Maggie had to say about Marianne. Marianne is, in the sense of the word, an amazing person and employee. She is one of the most hardworking, loyal, kind, and humble people I've ever known. If someone ever needs an extra hand, she's the first one that offers, and she's front and center ready to help. She is my partner, my friend, and an exceptional example of partnership and treating everyone with respect. Wow. Wow, that's what we all ought to be, right? I hope to be more like Marianne. Marianne, thank you so much. We're going to be sending you a $100 Amazon gift card to recognize you as the Inspire 100 winner today. Keep up the great work. Keep inspiring people, and you've inspired me to go out and help even more people as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining today. It's been a lot of fun as we've caught up with Hovis and Associates. What an incredible partner we're adding to the Integrity family today as part of this. I can't wait to see where we all go from here. We're going to be continuing to add and expand additional great partners to help serve even more people together. Hope everybody has a great week. God bless you guys. Take care and talk to you very soon. Thanks.